I think I'm ready. I got my question. I got my sparkling water. I love sparkling water, but this kind right here, clear American black cherry, is my favorite. I'm not ashamed to say that I get these at Walmart and they're almost always exclusively sold out. And so I try to get like 12 cases at a time. Shall we jump right in? You all asked me a bunch of questions and I know that you have interest in who I am in the world. So Caitlin, have I ever eaten bologna? Yes. Would I consider giving it up? Girl, I gave it up a long time ago because I too discovered exactly what was in bologna, got grossed out, and just never went back. Now, I warned you all that I was also Filipino, so I do eat Spam. If y'all don't know what Spam is, I'll let you Google it, okay? So I can't say I've given up all the kind of weird meats out there in the world. But thank you for asking me a non-traditional, very different question this time around. Kudos. Adriana, can we choose our own topics? Yes. To a certain extent, you'll have like total freedom over the content that you create. Follow-up question from Adriana. Is there extra credit? No. But also, you won't need it. The class is not designed for you to fail. If you participate and you get into the activities and you just give it your all, you are going to get an A in this class. You miss an assignment or 2 or 3, and that's how your grade actually goes down. So don't worry, you got this, girl. We're gonna get you through together. You don't need any extra credit along the way. If by chance you have a hiccup, don't forget, around week 7 or module 6 or 7 in this class, you'll get an opportunity to say, uh-oh, I had a hiccup, and submit any work that you missed. So I got you. You won't need the extra credit. Okay, so this question was asked a couple of times, but Michelle was the first person in her video that I actually saw this from, and she asked, what got me into public speaking? What do you teach? Why do I teach this class? And what have I seen students do so that you all can implement their success stories? That's a great question. Okay, let's start first with the public speaking. I have been a public speaker since the 6th grade. I gave my 6th grade commencement speech. Yes, I wore this little black and white polka dot off the shoulder dress that was extra fly. I had one of those high buns with 16 scrunchies, all black and white to match the dress. I looked great. I never looked up for my script. I read off the page the entire time. I don't think I looked at the audience, not once, but I was in the 6th grade and was killing it. I would say that would jumpstart my public speaking journey. But my parents kept me into very interactive, community-based programs that celebrated the arts, and so I've always been on stage in some way, shape, or form. Even though I wouldn't necessarily say I was like aiming towards a professional route, I think that the way that my life unfolded, these activities and programs that my parents enrolled me in really helped me to choose public speaking and performance in general, communication in general, as kind of my path. And as I've kind of gone through my process, I've been given opportunities to teach other people. So when I went to my master's program, how I paid for that is I accepted a TA-ship. And a TA-ship is basically someone who teaches like a lab section on a university level. So there might be a professor who teaches interpersonal communication, and then you would have me as a teaching assistant who would teach the lab and all the activities and so on and so forth. And as I went up, I became in a position where I was able to take over my own classes. They trained me in pedagogy, and I loved it. I remember my aunt asking me once, like, okay, do you think that you're going to be a teacher? And I was like, hell nah, that's not gonna be. But here I am, almost 20 years later, celebrating my 10-year anniversary for the PhD. And I absolutely enjoy creating content that teaches others how to embrace their own voices and empower themselves to whatever ends that they have in front of them. So I always appreciate this question. Like I said, several people have asked me, in the class, like, wait, why are you a public speaking teacher? Like, what brought you to public speaking? I don't know, I kind of got tricked. right? Like somebody said you should give this speech, and then all of a sudden I found myself giving my commencement speeches, 6th grade, 8th grade, my high school commencement speech. No, I was not valedictorian. Yes, I gave the speech of the year to 5,000 people. It was wild. And then when I went to college, instead of playing basketball, I was recruited to participate on their speech and debate team. So I spent 4 years competitively competing at the national level in speech and debate, which was fantastic. Those life experiences gave me a skill set that that was priceless. I would never be able to give it back. And quite frankly, I would never want to. I think that they have made me the type of person that I am. I can be a dynamic speaker. I can offer my voice comfortably, even though I still feel nervous and I still have my moments of anxiety. I feel confident that in any given space, I'm gonna be effective as a communicator. I hear one of my kids opening the door. Oh, that's right. I'm just gonna keep going. Thomas asked me who I am. What do I look like? In the flesh, here I am. This is what I look like. You're gonna see lots of video with my face on it, okay? Oh, Brad asked me, I love this question too. What is my home life like? Busy. Like, there are other people in the class who have multiple children. Like, if you are a single parent, even if you're not a single parent, oh snap, hold on. So you asked about my home life, Brad. That's pretty much how my home life goes. The kids interrupt, the kids take priority, the kids take over. The kids are my everything. Like, they are seriously my everything. And I think he actually messed up something on my camera over here. So I just want to make some small adjustments. All right, let's see how that works. Yeah? Yes, I think that will work. Alrighty. So 3 kids, no husband, no partner. That's perfectly fine with me. We're happily separated. He's a wonderful father to my children. Blase, blase. No, I don't consider myself a superwoman, but if you knew me, you probably consider me a superwoman. To the other mothers out there and the other solo people who are raising children out here, more power to you. It takes a lot, okay? And even if you're not a solo person, I said this already, but parenting is hard. Adulting is hard. Oh, Jennifer asked me, do I get scared or nervous when I speak in front of others? What do I do when I get scared or nervous to ease my nerves? Yes. Even after speaking all this time, that doesn't change the context or the speaking situation. So each new speaking situation will present itself something new to me. And there are some moments where I get like just as much anxiety and just as much fear, if you will, as you all out there. And so, yeah, I still get scared, but I do have strategies. If my anxiety gets extra and I find my heart racing and my hands feel like, you know, they're getting a little sweaty, you have to give your body a physical kind of thing to do to be able to get that energy out before you get out there on the stage. So what do? I squeeze my butt 100 times. Shh, don't tell anybody I said that. You're gonna get me fired. But seriously, that muscular movement that's hidden in a place that nobody is supposed to be looking. I mean, nobody should be looking at your behind. If they are looking at your behind, that's a whole nother issue. You could sit there in your seat, squeeze your butt 100 times, and all that nerves and all those anxiety feelings, and it has an actual physical response in place to exert itself, so that by the time you stand up, you take a deep cleansing breath and you smile, and then you walk into your presentation. Right? For me, those kind of few things help me to grasp my anxiety and to put myself in a position where I'm in control of how my body feels, my heart feels, my emotions, my brain, everything that, you know, kind of sets up this particular moment, if you will. Are there other things that I do? I warm up. I am a person who warms up her voice. I don't mind being silly. I don't mind stretching. I think that, you know, take my athletes in the class here, basketball players, tell me out there how y'all feel. When you go out there and you're in a game, right, you have a warm-up process whether that's shooting some free throws, whether that's shooting some threes, whether that's like, running some cross patterns, making sure that your defense is gonna be on point. I play 10-year basketball, so I get the lingo, right? All of that is a part of the warm-up process. I also get that sometimes people pray, right? I get that sometimes people have a personal mantra that they do. I get that sometimes people take the opportunity to sing out their favorite song and belt out their most empowering song. Maybe it's the Rocky theme song, I don't know. But there are all different ways that people, public speakers, use to actually ease their anxiety along the way. Public speaking is the number 2 fear among people in the United States behind snakes. Don't ask me why people are freaked out by snakes, but right behind snakes is public speaking. And what I'm here to tell you is that you are already an expert at speaking. You've been a speaker in your body your entire life. And that's not necessarily meaning just the words that are coming out of your mouth, but it's also your hands and your nonverbals and your facial expressions and your nods and your shrugs and all of that put together. That's what helps to create a dynamic public speaker, a comfortable public speaker. So a lot of the first kind of, trainings that we go through are just going to teach you how to be comfortable in yourself, in your own conversational voice. I don't want you to memorize not one thing. There'll be an opportunity for you to write things out and for you to figure out how you want to deliver it. But for the most part, let's use the next 3 to 4 weeks to actually set ourselves up to just be comfortable in our own speaking voice, to think about how fast we want to talk, to think about becoming comfortable with the tools that we're using, to laugh with ourselves when we make mistakes, to know that pressing record and pressing stop is perfectly okay, that you don't have to get it all in one shot. Although, sometimes one shot is where the magic is at, right? You'll get a chance to experiment along the way, which is kind of awesome, right? So, I still get nervous, and yes, there are techniques that I definitely use, and I really do appreciate that question because I want you to know that I'm human, right? That even though I've been doing this for a very long time doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have my own phobias or my own anxieties, right? Each of us has our own real lived experiences that we bring to the table in this class, right? Miles, I love this question. It's behind the baloney. I think this is my favorite question. How did I get my name Doc? Did I give it to myself? Did somebody give it to me? What is up with you being called Doc? It's a combination of things. One, yes, people gave it to me in terms of a lot of the students in the past that I have worked with kind of have always given me my respect in terms of my intellectual development, my intellectual progress, my professional progress along the ways, in terms of, I used to be called Teach when I just had my master's degree. The students who walk around, hey Teach, hey Teach. And then when I got my doctorate, it switched to hey Doc, right? And when I traveled to Nigeria as a part of a performance tour back in 2010, the Nigerian students used to say Prof, right? So I adopted Doc as a way to be interpersonal and professional. I'm a Black woman with a PhD, which means that I am a part of the 1% of Black female intellects with this particular degree status. And I own that. I hone that, right? Even in my motherhood, as my children open and close the door, I think that it's important for me to recognize that. But I'm also interpersonal. And I want you to be like, oh, she's Dr. Hastings. She's got an ego and a chip. First of all, I earned that. It took me 10 years to get that. It's not ego, but it is respect. And it's acknowledging that it did take me a decade to gain this expertise. And so Doc is my way to be both professional and interpersonal. And I hope that you all embrace it because everybody's called me Doc for the last 10 years. And I really am most comfortable when you call me Doc. I get triggered when you call me by my first name. And I noticed that there are 12 Rachels in this class, so I'm a little geeked out to see so many Rachels. I already identify with you all. There's even a Rachel Nicole. I'm a Rachel Nicole as well, so hey sister, we in this together, right? But that being said, I do get triggered when you call me by my first name. That's not my relationship with you. We have a much more professional dynamic, and so I hope that you will embrace calling me Doc along the way too. So my 2-year-old is knocking at the door over here. I'm gonna press pause and let him in and figure out how we can get some silence in the studio again. All right, I just wanna wrap this up a little bit because my kids keep interrupting the process. I promise I'm trying to be a good teacher. Get it together. Oh no, my focus, hold on. All right, so I got through. I loved that question. I think I answered Soleil's question of how long I've been teaching, 18 years proper. And what colleges have I attended? I mentioned Cal State Chico for my bachelor's degree, Cal State Long Beach for my master's degree, Southern Illinois University Carbondale for my PhD, and I have taught all over the place, including at Hampton University and HBCU in Virginia, including in Southern Illinois. I taught up and down Southern California, Cal State Long Beach, Irvine Valley College, Saddleback College, Cal State LA, man, there's so many, right? Before I was at MiraCosta, I was at Southwestern. And Southwestern is 7 miles from the Mexicali border, and I was there 6 years as a tenured professor, permanent position, lifetime employee, but better opportunity brought me here to MiraCosta. So now y'all got this rockin' killer teacher to call your very own. No ego. Thank you, Ricardo. I definitely appreciate that question. Garrett, best worst experiences in public speaking. I think my best worst experience, let's see, best experience was traveling on a 3-country performance tour in 2010. And actually, I can't even say 3-country, it was 3 continents, right? We started here in the United States, and then we traveled to the West Indies, where I had the opportunity to perform at the University of the West Indies in Barbados. And then we went to London, and I performed in London, and we spent 3.5 weeks after that traveling all throughout southern Nigeria. And so that was the best public speaking experience. I went both as a playwright, so I wrote one of the plays, and I also went as a performing artist. So I performed in the play that I wrote, and I was a professor. And so I had this kind of triple effect of being this new kind of like just recently graduated PhD who got to travel to 3 different continents on this most incredible, just an incredible experience, right? And so that was really awesome. Worst experience, I don't know if I have a specific worst experience. I mean, it's not like, I don't have one of those moments where I slipped off the stage like Marcus Garvey, you know, in his first public speech to the United States, right? I don't have an experience where, you know, I soiled myself in front of other people or anything like that. And people have these stories, right? I would probably say that my worst experience is just having a start over, where you start and then you realize you messed up and then you have to go back and do it again. I have had that experience in a very professional and competitive like environment, and it was pretty embarrassing for a person of my level to be starting over in the middle of their speech. And so, but I don't think it's anything dramatic. I actually embraced that because I became better across time, right? And I hope that I don't have any experiences that are embarrassing in the future. Knocking on wood directly after this video. Thank you, Garrett. Oh, Victoria, Tori, thank you. Why did I want to include all of these different communication tools, digital communication tools in our class? So YouTube, Studio, Arc is now Studio, Zoom. Why all these tools? Well, this class specifically is public speaking for social media. So my goal is to introduce you to a variety of different communication tools that you can use to give presentations, webinars, interviews, vlogs, on the go, DIY, do it yourself kind of methods, but still be a professional, right? I think that we spend lots and lots of money on tools that we could use in 7 different ways, like our cell phone, but we pretty much use it for our own entertainment. And if I could teach you all how to kind of hack into the business methods of using these tools, then I hope that you will become much more creative in how you approach your professions, I should say, in the future. Right? Or even just in your own creative life of what you do with the kids. I find myself doing most of my content creation around the kids and home life and stuff like that. So, lots of different uses. But yeah, I want to make sure that by the time you leave this class, you have 3 to 4 different tools that you have been exposed to. And that way, when you talk about your digital communication life, in an interview, you actually can say, I do have a little bit of experience using Zoom. Zoom is an iCloud meeting space. I know how to share my screen. I know how to invite people to a meeting. I know how to record and make sure that that recording gets saved and downloaded onto my local device. I'm gonna teach you all those things throughout the journey of this class. So, I don't know, I hope that you all embrace it. I hope that you signed up for this specific class because you wanted to be exposed to those type of tools. If you are feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so much, there's a learning curve here and I don't know if I'm gonna make it, don't worry, right? Just like any other exercise out there, it's going to take you a little bit of effort and some growing pains and some pain points to be able to say, I'm feeling myself grow. Right? So if you feel like frustrated along the way, if you were doing, 50 crunches after not having done crunches in a year, you would be feeling the pain too. So work with me and I'll help you out along the way if I can. Alrighty, so Patrick asked, what kind of use value am I going to get, from this class? Like, is this really going to help me after I graduate or after I leave, MiraCosta? 8 weeks from now, am I going to be a better person? Yes, you absolutely will, Patrick. My goal with this specific class is to make sure that 100% of all the tools that I give you actually have applicable, practical, and very pragmatic use values in the context that you are going to be finding yourselves in. When you go to work, when you're talking to your friends, if you have a random party at your girlfriend's house with her family, and now you need to figure out how to communicate with them. If you are doing a presentation in a class, if your boss has you doing a training, all of these are different things that could put you in a position to where you are bettering yourself, right? The skills that I offer you in the training, the activities that I offer you, will hit those pain points to make sure that you can accomplish that at the end of this course. It's gonna be useful. It's not gonna be one of those classes with like a bunch of busy work where it's just like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm gonna tell you why you're doing it. You're gonna do it and you're gonna be like, damn, that was like so awesome, right? At least that's my goal, and at least that's what previous students in my classes have said about the work that you're going to be doing in the next 8 weeks. So, did speaking come natural to me, or is it something that I worked on? Carter, I worked really hard to become the speaker that I am today. It's not something that I woke up with. I didn't have a Beyonce moment where I was like, I woke up like this. Nah, it wasn't like that at all. Like I said, I gave my first public speech in the 6th grade, and since then I have done nothing but develop my public speaking voice. Now, is it gonna take you 25 years to become a dynamic speaker? No, not at all. My hope is that with the tools that I give you in the next 8 weeks, you can begin your dynamic speaking journey right here and right now, right? So, Philip, I love engaging students. I hope to give you a lot of feedback along the way. I hope that these videos are examples of some type of feedback that you'll be getting along the way. And don't worry, it won't all be collective feedback. Some of it will be individual, so you and I will be able to connect on a one-on-one basis. That is 100% of the questions that were asked for me. Some of them, if you didn't get your question asked, I lumped some of them under, some of your colleagues who also asked similar or the same question. So don't feel left out. I definitely see you out there. All right, my friends, this week you have Master the Minute ahead of you, and I'm super excited to see what you come up with. All I want you to do is jump right in. Every single day, set aside 15 minutes to draw out a little pop-it, press record, spit a 1-minute video, press stop, upload that. Okay, don't upload that onto Canvas, but upload that into YouTube. That's right. So you can start your playlist, and that way you can send me the link to your playlist at the end of the week, right? If you want to have a little bit more direct feedback from your peers, I'm gonna open up a discussion board just for those of you who are like, I value feedback from my peers. And all throughout the week, you can post any videos that you create so people can hop on, give you some feedback, tell you, wow, how amazing you are in this very first week of our public speaking journey. Sound good? All right, scholars, I look forward to an amazing week. Happy Monday! And I can't wait till Friday when you all submit your Master the Minute Challenge worksheets to me. See you then. Bye.